This section will focus on how to use percentages and equations when working with area and perimeter. Drawing things to scale will be particularly helpful when working through the projects and puzzles. The next two examples are intended to provide the tools needed to find parts of a whole. When we used a ruler to determine how much of an inch or how much of a centimeter, we intuitively knew how much a half was. Here we will expand that into some perimeter and area models. List some examples of situations where you need to split something in half, in quarters, or even thirds. So when I was a kid and I would pack my lunch or my younger brother's lunch for school, sometimes I would make us sandwiches, and we have our square sandwich, and depending on how I felt, I might cut it in half that way, or I might make a sandwich where I cut it in half diagonally. And then if I was feeling fancy, sometimes I would cut it into fourths, so 4 equal pieces diagonally like that. All my examples tend to be around food, but also if let's say you have two friends over at your place on a Friday night and you order a pizza and you want to split the pizza evenly between the three of you, you could cut your pizza into thirds, into 3 equal pieces. Hey, look at that. It kind of looks like a peace sign. All right, let us dive into example 1. Below is a model of a driveway. The driveway needs cement poured and a drain edge near the 2 lowest sides. So first we are asked to find the perimeter. Notice that this is a rectangular driveway. So if this is 5 feet, then the right-hand side will also be 5 feet, and this will be 15 feet. And we know that the perimeter is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So perimeter is equal to 2 times 15 plus 2 times 5. And if we simplify that, we get 2 times 15 is equal to 30, and 2 times 5 is 10. And if we add those, we get 40. So the perimeter is equal to 40 feet. So I will just box that. Now it asks us to find the area, and the area is equal to the length times the width. So that is equal to 5 feet times 15 feet, which is going to equal 75 feet squared. Okay, and the next part says highlight half of the model. Now, just like with my sandwiches, it depends on how we're going to cut it. If I cut it in half vertically, then maybe I might cut it in half there, and then my half would be one of either the left or the right side. So that would be about half. So that's half my model. Or I could also potentially cut it in half long ways, and then half of my model, I could be highlighting the lower half like that. So it just depends. What is half the perimeter? So our perimeter is 40 feet. And so half of that we would divide by 2, and that would give us 20 feet. I'm sure a lot of you might be able to do that in your head. If not, that's okay. What is half the area? Well, half the area is 75 feet squared, and we want to divide by 2. That's how we get half, which gives us 37.5 feet squared. So that's half the area. What is 1/4 of the area? So there's a lot of different ways that you could do this. One way that you could think about it is if I took my rectangle and I cut it in half, and then I cut in half again, that is separated now into fourths, and I could potentially find the area of one of these fourths, and that would give me 1/4 of the area. So the way that I could get that area-wise is I could multiply 2.5 times 7.5. So if I did that, that gives us 18.75. So 18.75 feet squared. That should also be half of this number. So I'd like you to verify that if you do 37.5 divided by 2, that will give you 18.75 as well. So the last question here asks, what is 1/3 the area? So if we took the area 75 and we divided by 3, that's another way that we could get 1/3 the area. And if we did that, if you have 75 cents and you divided it by 3, that leaves you with quarters. So it would be 25 feet squared. I will go ahead and let you answer these check-in questions. So go ahead and reflect on these things and ask yourself what you're curious about, what you've noticed, and what you might need more help with.